Welcome to Body by Design. I'm your host, Blue Driver, a women's strength training and metabolism coach. I went from years suffering hormone imbalances, looking soft and bloated, to symptom-free and building muscle for a toned athletic physique. Since then, I've made it my mission to empower women to take control of their own health, hormones and body composition. So grab a cup of coffee and let's build your body by design.
In a world where information galore is at our fingertips, I'm finding that so many of you just don't know where to start on a health journey, how to change your body composition. So today I thought I'd go through some basics and give you some sort of a plan that you can actually take away and start actioning today on your own. You can get started. You don't need to be filtering through all this information and getting yourself really, really confused. Because at the end of the day, what you need to optimize your health, to feel good, to take your power back in your midlife by having energy and having balanced hormones and changing that body composition so you can look hotter than you did when you're 30, it's absolutely possible and it's very, very simple. Is it easy? No, it doesn't take away the fact that you have to be committed and you have to choose to do it every day. But the steps to get there are actually very simple. So let's dive into what that looks like. First of all, I think getting an understanding of the absolute basics that you need without going through the nuances of is cardio good or isn't cardio good and all this sort of stuff. The way we use cardio can be used very differently. But I think there is a unanimous decision out there that strength training gives us longevity, hormone health, insulin sensitivity, so we don't have insulin resistance. It helps us move body fat. Strength training should be there in whatever exercise program you choose to engage in and in whatever activity you like. You need strength training in there, heavy strength training that's going to build muscle. Daily activity outside of just strength training, hitting the gym 3 or 4 times a week and then sitting on your ass all day at a computer is not going to help you. You need to be active, and the highlight would be if you could get 8 to 10,000 steps a day is what you want to be aiming for. And let's clean up your diet. Let's get rid of the processed foods, the foods with lots of additives in them, and just, general crappy foods. If you're eating donuts every day, now I'm not saying don't ever eat a donut, but if you're eating donuts and cookies and packaged meals every day, it's not going to be good for you. So just cleaning up your diet a bit. And then the fourth one would be sleep and sunshine. People severely underestimate sleep and sunshine and how good those two are for you. Sunshine for vitamin D conversion and setting your circadian rhythm. And sleep is where all of our restorative processes happen, be it muscle building or repairing our hormones, lowering our cortisol. All happens in quality sleep. So they are the 4 things: strength training, steps, cleaning up your diet, sleep and sunshine. So it really is that simple. But again, it's not easy. You've actually got to physically commit and mentally commit to making this a priority and getting on with it. Now, that's probably the part where it starts to feel really overwhelming because you feel like you have all these things that you need to do. And that's where I like to guide people through habit stacking. Some people are great at hitting the ground running, ripping the Band-Aid off and just changing everything at once. But I'll be honest, those people are few and far between. They're your real type A people that once they've made a decision, they're just ready to go. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. You just need to choose simple steps that you can add each day, each week, and keep building on them. You choose one to tackle, get it right, create a habit out of it, then add the next one, and just keep adding a new habit each week until you've got a pretty good sound foundation. So this is where we do our habit stacking. Master one each week and then just add another. So you just pick something. What is the easiest thing to start with? Maybe it's steps. It's pretty easy. Just get out and walk. So if you're someone who's sitting at a desk all day, waking up late, doesn't really enjoy much activity, walking is a great way to start, and you're probably down around the 3,000 to 5,000 steps. And for anyone's health, let alone someone that wants to build and change body composition, general health, that amount of steps is really low. I would recommend 8,000 to 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps is fantastic because you can really start getting volume of food in, because your daily activity is actually allowing you to burn some more energy. So there's more calories need to go in, and more calories in means more nutrients. So if you can hit 10,000 steps would be great. But if you're currently only at 3,000 steps, hitting 10,000 is going to be huge. So slowly start adding it. If you're at, say, 3,000 to 5,000 steps, go, okay, I'm actually going to increase my steps to 6,000. Then the next week you go, okay, I'm going to aim for 7, and you just keep going. And if you can land somewhere between 8,000 to 10,000 steps would be ideal. So that would be maybe a first step that you take. That's really easy. And once you've got a habit, you know that it fits into your lifestyle, whether it's getting up an hour earlier and going for a walk, whether it's walking as soon as you finish work, you might be near a lovely place that you can walk, and you just do it straight after work by taking your training shoes with you and just going for a walk. Find a way to fit it in there. Also, incidental steps. Start doing things like park your car further away at work. Walk around the building at lunchtime. Go for a stroll for 10 minutes out in the sunshine at lunchtime. The next thing you might want to do is start looking at your food. I'd highly recommend downloading a tracking app, because at some point you're going to need to understand what you're putting into your body and how much. And the only way you're ever going to do that is by tracking. Okay, there's so many people I speak to that go, oh yeah, I think they eat pretty healthy. The minute they track, I can guarantee you low protein, high fat, minimal or crappy quality carbs, not nutrient dense. So download yourself a tracking app and then start going, right, my first step is I'm going to wake up every morning, and within an hour of waking up, I'm going to have breakfast, because so many of you don't. And in that breakfast, I'm going to have 30 grams of protein. So all you need to do to start with that tracking app is plug in what would you have for breakfast that's going to get you 30 grams of protein. And that could be your next step. So now you're walking 8,000 to 10,000 steps. You're eating breakfast within an hour with 30 grams of protein. Then after a week, you might go, okay, I'm doing really well. I then suggest looking at your overall protein. Really, if you're going to be strength training, or you already are strength training, any woman at a minimum should be hitting about the 130 gram mark. So start plugging that in. What does it look like when you eat a bit of protein at every meal? How much chicken do you need to eat to get there? How much beef do you need at dinner to get there? Start putting it in so you actually understand what protein you're currently having and how much more you need to get there. I really do highly recommend red meats, seafood, dairy as your main protein sources. And then if you need to top it up, because some people do struggle, using things like collagen, which is great for joints, skin, hair, ligaments. And also casein is my go-to protein powder. It's got a higher amino acid profile than whey. Whey is a good choice as well if you want to use a nice clean whey. Go for it. My preference is casein, because it also has the benefits of slow release protein, which can really help sleep at night. So there's a couple of options there. Just choose clean protein powders that aren't all flavored. Use fruit, honeys, all those sorts of things to actually flavor your shakes or yogurt or whatever it is that you're adding the protein powder to. Use real foods to flavor it. Don't use crap like buy chocolate powder protein. When you look at it, I can guarantee you there's lots of additives in it. So add cocoa powder and some honey to milk, and that would give you a chocolate protein shake. So you can make your own flavors up. So that would be my next step. Your overall protein, try and hit 130 grams a day across the day. Start plugging that into your app. So now you're walking every day. You're making sure you're eating breakfast and getting adequate protein at breakfast. You're now making sure that you're getting adequate protein across your entire day. And I've just spoken about quality protein sources. So now you're starting to add some great nutrients by aiming for those quality protein sources like red meat, seafood, and dairy. Then you might want to go the next week, okay, I'm doing this really well. Let's get a little more serious about these calories. Online is lots of calculators that you can use to work out someone of your height, weight, age, and your activity level of, say, medium. How many calories should you be eating? So you plug all that information in and it's going to spit out a number for you. And then you can also have a look at your macros. There's all these calculators online. You just need to Google them. It's that simple. So you know you're already having 130 grams of protein and that's in your app. You just need to make the rest of that up to your total calories now that you've gotten on your online calculator with some quality carbs and fats. Don't go overboard on your fat. I'm going to say stay below 65 grams of fat. That's just a rough guess. And then fill the rest with carbs. Your fats, you want them to come, most of them will come from your protein and so your meats and your dairies. When you cook with things like grass-fed butter and ghee and coconut oils, all really great anti-inflammatories. Things like seed oils and polyunsaturated oils, vegetable oils are very inflammatory, cause oxidative stress and not really that great for you. So make sure you're filling up with fats from like your dairy and all those sorts of places. Then your carbs, nutrient-dense carbs. Now, I think there's a big movement out there where it's don't eat sugar. There's absolutely nothing wrong with sugar. If you want to put a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee so it's pleasant to drink, go for it. As long as there's plenty of other roots, fruits, fruit juices, potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes, all those sorts of things for carbs in your diet, having a little bit of sugar is going to be fine. But you can also use things like honey and maple syrup. So now you have added somewhere up to 65 grams of fat, anywhere between 50 and 65 grams of fat. Now, look, you can get into the nuances of it. Depends how many calories that you're having and what sort of diet you're on. But we're talking about small habit stacking. When you're doing nothing, getting close is good. So 50 to 65 grams of fat, 135 grams of protein you're now doing, and then you just fill the rest up with your carbs, sourdough, fruits, root vegetables, honeys, juices, all those sorts of things. So between everything I've just said with what to fill your macros with, you're actually now hitting nutrient-dense foods and hitting a calorie range that should be fairly right for you. The next step you might want to look at is hormone supportive. We want to make sure we are covering a lot more of our nutrient profile. And to do that, nature's multivitamin is beef liver and oysters. We get nowhere near enough vitamin A to support our liver, B vitamins, selenium, copper. Copper helps our iron production. Beef liver and oysters cover all of these vitamins and minerals that if you have 100 grams of beef liver and a dozen oysters a week, you don't really need to take any other supplements because you're filling your fats with nice animal saturated fats. You're filling your carbs now with roots, fruits, juices, and you're getting quality protein. You add those other two things in, which is your beef liver and your oysters, you're pretty much covered. Now, I hear you go, oh my God, beef liver, oysters. If you don't think that you can eat those, I personally love sitting down to a dozen Kilpatrick oysters on the weekend. Love them. Not a fan of liver. I've either done it frozen raw and just swallowed, or both of them. There is certainly the supplement versions, and I can put some links in the show notes to the app and to those supplement versions of beef liver and oysters if you're interested in those. And then the third thing I would say is add a carrot salad. It helps detox your body, helps lower your endotoxins, helps our body clear of excess estrogen, which is quite disruptive to our hormone health in general. And when we're trying to get rid of endotoxins, our liver can be overburdened. So having a simple carrot salad every day can help. I'll also put a link in the show notes on how to go about your simple carrot salad and a bit more info on it, so you can read up about that. So there's your nutrients covered in step by step. And it's just, again, adding each week, going, okay, now I've got a hang of this. Now I'm going to add this. And then the last one would be, if you're not already strength training, find a way to strength train. That's probably the most complex part of it. You can start at home with some dumbbells. You will fast outgrow them if you're training properly and you're really increasing muscle mass. You will fast outgrow that. So you either want to have a look at some sort of proper home gym system or joining a gym. There are so many basic programs online. Look for low volume, a 3-day program or a 4-day program. Look, if you can commit to 4 days, you'll get there a lot faster, but you certainly can do it in 3. Anything under 3, you're not going to build muscle. But finding a way to add that in. And that would be the last, as I said, it's probably the hardest one to add in if you're not doing it already. If you are doing it already, you might want to start looking around at really dialing that in to a way that's going to suit your body. And by the time we hit our 40s, we're losing muscle mass. We've got a lot of hormone problems. We've been crash dieting for years. We can overtrain. So getting some guidance on really how to dial that program in more specific to you and your needs and your current health, I really do highly recommend that. You can always contact me. I certainly do run a coaching program that covers all of this. But if you're not training at all, finding a way to add that in, even if it is just starting with dumbbells at home, just have the recognition that you will fast outgrow those dumbbells and you're going to need a proper home gym system, or you're going to want to join a gym. And then that would be the last piece of the puzzle. You should be able to do that all on your own. They're all things that you can do. The benefits of getting a program or a coach or something like that is the accountability. You don't have to go fossicking around on the internet looking for calculators. You don't have to go fossicking around, looking for programs for training. You could always get a PT to write a training program for you. I do feel like a lot of PTs tend to overload women of our age with volume, and supersetting and things like that, which probably isn't great for our central nervous system. But again, if you haven't been training at all, doing something is a great start. So there's some real basics for you in a step-by-step way, how you can just habit stack them. If you can add one a week, you're going great. If it takes you a little bit longer to grasp something, that's okay as well. I've also got lots of free resources on macros and types of foods that I've just been talking about. I've got a great optimal food list that you can get a hold of. So you can always DM me over at my Instagram page and ask me about any of these. They're all free resources that I'm happy to share with you, which just might make those steps a little bit easier for you. The last one I want to touch on is about, it's that commitment to doing it. I think, again, it's simple. All those steps are quite simple. It's not easy to do, though. And you're going to come across days, everyone goes, oh, I'm not motivated. If you relied on motivation, you won't survive past 2 weeks. We lose motivation very quickly because when we don't feel like it, when we're feeling tired, when we've had a bad day, when it's raining outside, or when it's cold and dark and we don't want to walk. I think this is where the excuses start to creep in. We need to stop looking for the excuses and start looking at what can we do. It's now cold and dark outside because we've gone into winter, and it's really hard to keep my steps up like that. Jump on Facebook and buy a cheap treadmill and start walking at home. Do laps around your kitchen. I've got kids and it's hard to get out and go for a walk. Put them in the pram, take them with you. Walk to a park or drive to a park if there's not one close, and run around with the children. It doesn't have to necessarily be an active walk. So this is about looking for what can I do, not what the excuse is. I think there's also a big thing when it comes to females' hormones health, especially in our 40s, particularly if we've been that type A personality that pushes ourselves too much. We start getting caught up in this, be kind to yourself. Don't overdo it. Listen to your body, and rest is important too. Well, yes, it is, but there is a way that you can differentiate between, do I actually really need the rest? Or is this me looking for excuses? Because in the beginning, it's not that easy. And I can guarantee you, the minute you don't feel like it, you will be able to rationalize in your head in multiple ways to how you think you actually need the rest, and you're listening to your body when really it's just a damn excuse. Now, those days should be actually few and far between that you're not really able to get up and go to the gym or able to go that walk. Let's take, for example, I spent 2 weeks recently, got hit with the flu quite badly, and I was kind of down for 2 weeks. When it came to the third week, I was kind of up and running again, but I wasn't 100%. And that was a time to listen to my body. So instead of walking every day plus going to the gym 4 days and hitting PBs, I went, right, well, I'll walk on the days that I don't go to the gym. I'm probably only going to give the gym 3 days this week. That way I was resting in between and there wasn't a back-to-back day in there. When I do 4 days, there's a back-to-back day, which probably wouldn't be good. And I'll start with 50% weight. So I didn't make the excuse of not going. I listened to my body and went, it's not 100%, but I need to start moving again. And I went and I got back into it. Now, I think the moment that you start in your head going, oh, I didn't really get much sleep last night. I should rest. I've had a really busy day at work and I feel tired. I shouldn't push myself. But then you go, I really should go. Oh, I don't want to go. Oh, I should really rest. When you get that, you're arguing with yourself. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little backwards and forwards. It's like you've got the devil and the angel sitting on your shoulder going, yes, go, no, don't rest. The minute you have that back and forth, that is not a true, genuine reason to be resting. That is you arguing with yourself and trying to justify why you don't want to go. Having a busy day at work and feeling a bit tired from that actually isn't a good excuse. Getting into the gym, putting some focus into it and moving can actually be really good for you. However, if you only got 3 hours 3 hours sleep the night before because you've got a sick child and they're up all night and they're throwing up and you're washing sheets and cleaning and all that, that's probably a really good excuse, not excuse, but a genuine reason to go, I'm tired and I'm just not going to push it today. Just get out and do an extra walk instead. But if there isn't a genuine reason there, you will know it because you will have that argument backwards and forwards in your head. Or the alarm goes off at 5 o'clock and you go, oh, well, it's been raining. It might rain on me. So I won't go. Like you start looking for those reasons. Put a raincoat on. Rain's not going to hurt you. Do laps around the kitchen. Don't start making those excuses and having that argument in your head, particularly if it's about an early get up, because I guarantee you, you'll lay there for the next half hour arguing with yourself when you could have just got up and got it done. So learning to listen to your body, but also learning to listen to when you are giving yourself an excuse. Because at the end of the day, choosing health is not easy. Choosing it to be a priority is not easy. Otherwise, we would all be doing it. However, the steps are very simple and clear, which I have outlined here. You just have to be willing to give up the excuses, because I have seen every form of life make it work. I have seen women that have multiple special needs children make it work. Women who are high flyers in their career, building their own business, have children, babies, older children, terminally ill family members. Like there are people with all sorts of stories out there still prioritizing their health and making it work. I personally have a family, build a business. My partner has been through 2 bouts of cancer, and I am still here doing it. And if anything, leaning into my health journey is what got me through. So there is a way that you can start habit stacking. You can take that away today, and you actually can make it work for you now. So I'll drop all those links in the show notes, and you're always welcome to reach out to me in the DMs, because I love to have a chat and I'll answer any questions you've got, and I'll catch you in next week's episode.